Welcome everybody back to the 23rd episode of Sports and Superhero Podcast. This is a podcast where we entertain you and talk about entertaining stories of the past week in sports in the superhero world. Telling you all the news that we get. Um, I just blanked. Sorry, guys. I'm keeping it in. But we talk about the stories and stuff. The stories we find, we bring them up. We discuss it with you guys, let you guys know what's going out there, let our opinions on it, and then hopefully you start giving your feedback on it in the comments. That would greatly help. You guys, I am one of your co-hosts, Gershon or Sammy. I do the superhero stuff with my co-host on the other side.
I'm Marcus. I'm got you on the sports side. Look here, sir. I find it difficult that you try to go by your government name on this podcast.
I
It
know.
confuses me. I've
I
never called you
understand.
that. I've never
This
called you that in the
is
entire 20 plus years I've been knowing you. So I would appreciate it if you would just go by your normal
I
name.
I do need to just lock in. So okay, from now on we're just gonna it's just gonna be Sammy. We're gonna go by Sammy, lock in and Sammy.
Thank
That means
you.
I think I have to go change it on our bio too, because I think it says
Uh,
Marcus and Gershon on there. So I'm gonna go change it.
hey,
Just go. I
you
can
make my
understand
job.
how it gets confusing. I can understand.
You make my job a lot easier because I'll be talking
Okay.
to you and I'll say Sammy. I mean Gershon. See, I've never called you that. Before.
I understand. I understand. So we just gonna we'll keep it as Sammy. Uh, my co-host is very used to that, so I understand. I would
I
leave it at
appreciate that, brother.
that.
Appreciate that,
All
brother.
right.
Appreciate it.
With that out the way, everybody, we know our names. If you haven't already, go hit that subscribe button. It's free and it helps us. So if you could go hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already hit that like button, you know you're gonna like what you're seeing or hearing. So go ahead and hit that. If you haven't, follow us on all our social medias as well. Links in the description down below. With that all out the you give us voicemails. Send us voicemails if you want. We have a link for that. Check that out
Yep.
down the description. Tell us either ask us a question about superheroes or sports or life, whatever. As long as it's not no weird shit, we'll probably answer. So with that all out the way, the intro, you gotta have the intro every time. People gotta know why they're here. Let's just jump
Yes.
into our topics. And Marcus, you're up first.
We're going to. I usually end with this topic, but we're going to start off with it today. We're going to talk about the
Okay.
NBA Finals because the game
Okay.
is currently on TV. It is tied. The series is tied 1-1. The series has shifted to Indiana. The current score is 19-14 with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left in the first quarter. So, uh, the reason why we're starting off with this is because what I kind of predict was going to happen has happened. Well, has happened, especially in Game One in the NBA Finals. As I said before the finals started, that this finals might be a low rating because casual fans don't know who are on these teams. These are not big market teams. And Adam Silver did a whole like a little press run about it, about how we shouldn't view it that way because he used the analogy the Packers versus the Steelers, which I thought was a horrible analogy because the Steelers has a big fan base, storied franchise, and unfortunately, that team in Wisconsin, that's Green Bay, also is a storied franchise with fans around the world. I mean, Green Bay is a small town, but they have a lot of fans. But I'm going to go into some numbers. So, game one of this year's finals had the lowest viewership since 1988, excluding the COVID years, due
Mm,
to the matchups between these two smaller market teams. And also, the NBA does not do a great job of promoting the younger players. Just, I
true.
mean, Halliburton is not in, and I'm sure the fans are going to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but
You know
Halliburton
they
is
are.
not. Halliburton is not in any national commercials that I can think of off the top of my head right now. I know
Mm.
Shea is in two. He has an AT&T commercial.
Yeah. I've seen him in
and
a commercial.
he was in a Skims commercial. Uh, but yeah, and then let's see. Halliburton has a shoe deal with Puma because he debuted his signature shoe in game
Yep.
one. And then Shea is signed with Converse. These are not really, I'm not going to say nobody wears those brands, but those are not, you know, they're not Nike or Adidas, bigger shoe companies. So, um, the get back to game one NBA Finals. Ratings were down 18% from the previous year, although although the Pacers' comeback boosted a late viewership. So people must have been, just following along on their phones or something and saw that Indiana came back and flipped to the game. Um,
Hmm.
Despite the decline, the NBA's overall financial position is strong, and the series could still attract viewers hoping for an upset. So that being said, this final still can do numbers, even though game one was down because everybody, for the most part, is picking OKC. Um, so people might be tuning in just to see if Indiana can pull off the upset. I know the Indiana fans are very passionate about their team. Indiana has a rich basketball history. Um, like I said before, Indiana has never won an NBA championships. They've come close. They've gone deep in the playoffs. Have made the finals, like I said, in 2000 against the late Kobe Shaq Lakers. Got deep in the Eastern Conference Finals a bunch of times, but they ran into the GOAT, MJ, put them out a few times. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good series. Reggie Miller had to push off in one game to hit the game winning three. Yeah, I'm still upset about that, even though Chicago still went on and won the championship, but that was definitely a push off. And I want to hear nothing about the Brian Russell that y'all claim was a push off too, what Jordan did in Utah. That wasn't a push off. That was a crossover. Um, so yeah, just kind of what I said. Viewership is now a little bit. Uh, Maybe it'll go back up because yeah, like they said, to see if Indiana pulls an upset. So we'll see what happens.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I forget. Reggie Bush doesn't have a
Miller,
ring, does he? Or
Reggie
Reggie
Miller.
Miller. I don't know why I was
Yeah,
saying Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller doesn't have a ring, huh?
no, but I would say Reggie Miller is a score jumper. Like he had a
Yeah.
weird form, but the jumper was Nick fans know about Reggie Miller's jumper. Nick fans definitely know about Reggie Miller had a nice jumper. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
and Indiana they
So
had some
what's the score right now?
22-20 OKC.
Okay,
3 minutes left
okay.
in the first.
So I didn't watch the game, but I've seen the memes of what happened at a certain amount of time, and then at the end of the game when they won, um, it said that OKC pretty much led the whole game. Um,
Yes,
they
yes, they
never
did.
went under. They led the whole game into the last like 8 seconds. They lost the
Yes,
lead.
yes.
Okay. Jeez.
I will give credit to Halliburton because not to be having a good shooting game and to take that shot to take the lead at the end of the game, which
Hmm.
eventually became the game winner. One, you got to have confidence. You got to be confident to
Yep.
take that shot, for one. Two, he made it. So you got to give credit where credit's due. But yeah, to be down the whole game, I'm not going to lie, I went to bed early because OKC was up by like 20 some odd points in the third quarter. I went to
Hmm.
sleep. I woke up Friday morning, checked my phone, and I see Indiana had came back and won. I was really upset that I went to bed. So now I vow because that's how the playoffs been all this year. Like a 20-point
Yeah.
lead isn't safe. I knew better, but
No.
I still went to sleep. So I vow to never for the rest of these finals. I am not going to bed early. I'm staying up for the whole game. Even though Sunday when
Okay.
OKC was winning and it was up by 20 in the fourth and put in the bench players, I like nope. I'm still watching this whole game. I don't want to miss nothing. So,
Understandable.
yep.
Uh, that is yeah, they've been it's been some miracles happening in the last quarter of most of these games
Yeah.
where either one team would just go on a spree and then shut the other team down where they only make like 2 or 3 buckets and the other team make like 18 to 20 buckets and just take off when you thought they were already done. So
The,
that's sometimes basketball though.
I was gonna say these whole playoffs remind me of the. Oh, I'm sure I'm gonna get the year wrong. I want to say the 2011 NBA Finals, when it was San Antonio Spurs and the Miami Heat, and nope, it was not the 2011 Finals. Was it the 2012? Well, anyway, San Antonio was beating Miami in the fourth quarter. They were up big, and then
Mm-hmm.
fans started leaving the building. The game was in
Mm.
Miami. Fans started walking out the arena. Miami came back and won the game. And then, dang, it wasn't 2012 either. Uh,
When they try to get back in and they wouldn't let them or
yes,
something like
correct,
that.
correct, correct, correct. And that was a clear indication why you should never.
Yep.
Man, I don't know which one is it. Everything I type in is wrong. I, and by the time I figure it out, we will get beat to net 2014.
Okay.
Was it nope, I don't even think that's right either. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, 2014. Oh, that
20,
sounds maybe right.
that was San Antonio and Miami, but they played twice. 20. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Anyway, I know
Yeah.
somebody tell me in the comments. Oh,
Yeah,
you
they'll
don't
hit us
know
in the
better.
comments.
It was 2013. 2013.
Okay, so you was just a
My
year off. That's not bad. That's not bad.
bad. Yeah.
Not
But
bad.
anyway,
Yeah, that means you got to stay to the last shot. Don't you never know what might happen.
oh yeah.
Unless it's like 10 seconds left.
When I go to games live, I tell my girl, she's like, "You ready to go?" I like, "Nah, we stand until that final buzzer. I paid for these tickets. I paid my
Yeah,
money for these seats.
exactly.
Hey, we stand for the whole game. I'm seeing everything. I was seeing starting lineup. I was seeing when they walk off the court. I'm seeing everything. So
I don't even care if it's a blowout. I want to see bitch players get in now. I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
care.
that's what I do too. I'm staying the whole game. She already know.
Yeah, standing on business. Speaking of standing on business, that crazy meme with Ryan Gosling as the Black Panther is coming true to an extent. Yes, we're going to talk about this story. I don't know a lot about this story. I'm not going to lie to you because I haven't read the comic book this story is based off of.
Man, I thought
But
that was
we
fake.
have,
Sorry,
yeah, a
sorry.
lot of people did.
When I saw it, I was like, oh, I thought it was fake. But go ahead. I did this.
So we have a white Black Panther in comic book form, only in comic book form right now. There's a Marvel Knights run with I think his name is Christopher Priest is writing. It's a 6 issue, and it might be an Elseworld story, um, Black Panther story going on right now. And in the story, we've just been introduced to Katama, who is white and is replacing, I believe, T'Chaka. I'm not sure if it's T'Chaka or his T'Challa. I don't know if it's T'Chaka or T'Challa that is being replaced. But Katama is the new replacement for the Black Panther. He's white. So they have this panel where he pulls off his mask and you see that it's a white man. And they only have the first issue out as of right now. Um, and I think the issue ends on that panel, which is a great way to end because people going to know what's going on here. So we don't know if he is the son or adopted son or what it is, but this is taking the internet into an uproar. Oh, I forgot to
I'm
mark that when
sure
we
it
were doing
is.
this story.
I'm sure it is. I was
It
very
definitely is.
I am very much interested to see how this plays out.
It's been just going crazy all over the internet. So those Ryan Gosling memes of him as Black Panther is going up crazy. Even one of my work friends called me. He was like, "Hey, what's going on with this white Black Panther?" I was like, "Yeah, I seen that. It's a comic book. It is a as of it seems like it's supposed to be in another universe, so it's not the main 616 universe of Marvel. I believe it's another universe. I could be wrong because I haven't read the book yet, but I know people are making fake stories saying Marvel MCU is looking at this and possibly thinking about bringing this into the MCU timeline and doing it on there. Um, the interesting thing is, it got me thinking that you can't make Black Panther white. And then I started thinking about it. The only real key information for Black Panther of him being black is not really key as I think. His key information is him being African, him being from the African nation. So you can have a white man as Black Panther because he can be a white African, and that made me it scared me a little bit because it's logical because we always telling everybody, hey, your characters don't need to be white because that's not ingrained in their character. There's only like a few actual characters that their character is really based on their race. And I thought Black Panther was one of those characters, but when I really started thinking about it, it's not. It's just African. And you could be white and African. Elon Musk is one of those. So I'm not saying he's a good one. He's just one of those. So that is the possible. So that made me go, huh? This could happen. I know people are wondering where the story going. I am too. I will be checking this story out. I might even get a subscription. Let me know. I know there's like digital comic book subscriptions you can get. I might get one just to read this story to see where it goes and keep tabs on it. So y'all let me know in the comments where you get those subscriptions at and which ones are good and which ones have like a free month or something. That would be great. Maybe I should just support. Give me one that has a decent rate. But yeah, it is very interesting that they're doing this. I know it's clearly clickbait. It's just to get eyes on stuff, but sometimes that works and it gets people back in the comics. So hopefully this does what it seems to be doing is to aim to get people back into reading comics. Hopefully it does that and we get a good story out of it. But yeah, it is crazy out there right now where people some feel vindicated to an extent that yeah, the Black Panther is white now, which is not how you should feel. Um,
Come on,
but
you knew that was coming, but you knew that was coming because
I know,
the past few years with all the all the characters that like
yeah,
Ariel being black now, the live
yeah, they
action
really
movie,
hate that.
you know they are eating this up. But also, our culture is going to have so many jokes. And with Black Panther being white now, the snow bunny jokes,
Yeah,
the black man loves white women joke, like the jokes from our cultures is gonna be and memes is gonna be or is be or already are insane. I haven't seen them yet, but I'm sure they're out there. And yeah,
I'm definitely waiting for the Umar jokes.
oh
Umar
yeah,
just
oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. You know they're coming.
I wait for the is this your king memes because that's gonna go blow up. So
Hmm.
it's gonna
Yep,
happen. I'm waiting
yep.
to hear from. But yeah, if you are reading this issue, let us know how do you like it so far. Is this compelling? Is it interesting? Are you upset? Are you just eager to see where the story goes? Um, I'm not upset that it happened because these are not my characters, so I don't own these. I'm not upset it's happened. It's interesting. I give it that, but I'm not upset and like this is what's wrong with the world. No, that's just stupid. It's a comic book story. There's a comic book story where Superman became black. That's a story that happened. Not only did Superman become black, I think Lois Lane became black. So there's wild stories out there. So this is not one to get too upset about. Unless it does something super ridiculous towards the end. In this time frame of the world right now, you shouldn't do that. But you got to let it play out and see what it does.
Did,
But
did
yeah,
you
that
say
is
you said Superman is black?
at one point in time he becomes black.
Well, we
Uh,
we we had a conversation about that off air. You know how I feel about it.
yeah, she already thinks Superman has a black name, which
He
I didn't
does
think
have
about
it.
it at the time. I didn't think about it at the time, but now I think about it more. I'm like, dang, that is kind of
Look,
a
look,
black name.
look at the name and look how it's spelled. Him and his daddy black. His mama was white.
It
I'm
really
just saying.
is weirder than I thought. Now that I think about it, at the time I didn't put much thought into it, but now I'm like, dang, that is kind of a very black
I
name.
I can't believe
Uh,
you held that information from me for so long. And,
information I assume you knew.
and then after you told me that, I called our other friend and I yelled at him too for not telling me that information as well. And his response was, "Well, it never came up in conversation." I'm like, "Ain't this about a
Thank
bitch?"
you.
Like, I'm like, "No, no, I'm not giving you a pass for that, bro. No." Mm-mm. So yeah,
Yeah, that never really comes up in conversation like that, so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of
All right,
hard.
all right.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
all right.
but
Oh,
yeah, that
oh, oh,
is
no, no, go ahead, go
what
ahead. No, no, I was gonna
that
say, I'm
is.
sorry.
Go ahead, Marcus. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I got a certain segue. So
Go ahead.
speaking of white people, let's talk about Derek Carr. Because Derek Carr, in my opinion, I mean, Derek Carr is white, but he really pulls some white people shit. Wait till I tell you about this. I don't know if you heard about this.
I didn't hear about this. This is new to me.
So Derek Carr, NFL quarterback, he's played in the league for a while. Derek Carr is going to retire from the NFL due to a significant shoulder injury. So he's going to have shoulder surgery, right? So he's choosing not to take money from the Saints while he's unable to play next season. So once he has his
Okay.
shoulder surgery, he's going to probably be out for the whole season because his shoulder surgery, it takes a while and it's a difficult
Yeah.
shoulder. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
difficult surgery, right? Guys, so he's going to retire instead of taking his salary for this upcoming season. Guess how much money he's decided not to take?
2 million.
Higher. I give you three
Much
guesses.
higher. Much
Yes.
higher. Much. Okay. 10 million.
It's not enough.
Oh Jesus. Um. He gonna get any of this money?
Yeah, he's gonna get some of it.
Okay.
I'm, give me one more guess.
I say 25 million.
This man is leaving 30 million on the table.
Uh,
Well, he's going to get 10 million because he's getting 10 million as a signing bonus.
okay.
So I guess technically he's leaving 20 million on the
Twenty
table.
million.
Yeah. Uh,
Eh,
the Saints now have a quarterback competition, and Carr is considering broadcasting or coaching in the future.
hmm.
But yeah, Derek Carr signed a 4-year, $150 million contract with the Saints in 2023. Um, he forfeit his 30 million base salary cap for next season due to his retirement. But like I said, he'll still get 10 million. And the
Was
reason
Carr
why
even that good to get that kind of a deal in the
I
first
don't
place?
I I thought, in my personal opinion, I thought that David Carr was average. Like, yeah, it
Yeah.
was a good season there, but he wasn't all that. Yeah, Derek Carr has played 11 years in the NFL. He got drafted in 2014, second round, 36 pick. Uh, played for the Raiders from Oakland Raiders / Las Vegas Raiders from 2014 to 2022, and then New Orleans from 2023 to 2024. He's a four-time Pro Bowler, uh, two-time first team. Um, yeah, and he has a 65.1 completion percentage. He has 257 touchdowns to 112 interceptions. He has
Okay.
41,245 passing yards with a passer rating of 92.8. Oh, yeah, and he is 34. Um, yeah, so his reason was saying he didn't feel comfortable taking that amount of money from New Orleans and he wouldn't be playing. Um, I feel like, okay, well, you can do something else with the money. You can use that
Exactly.
money to give to a charity or build something for your whole town or do something for people in New Orleans. Like there's
Yeah.
a lot of other things you could have done with that 30 million. But
Uh,
that's him. I for one have not left all that money on the table.
that is a lot of money. I mean, mind you, he's getting 10 million. If I was getting $10 million, I'd be fine with that. There's a lot of money on the table. Um, I don't know. It seemed like New Orleans did that to themselves because he doesn't seem like a quarterback at that price. Was there nobody else around to go like half of that money to give that kind of?
And they got side note from answer that Derek Carr has made 195.7 million in his 11 years in the NFL.
It's
So
a decent career. It's a decent
I
amount of
mean,
money
he's
too.
made a lot of money, but still,
Yeah.
me myself personally,
So
even
didn't New Orleans have the chance to take Shadur?
yep, yes, they did.
Mm,
Yes, they did. So we'll see what the Saints do as far as a quarterback, because right now they have the one kid they drafted in this past draft ahead of
mm,
Shador, that Tyler Scout, who
okay.
yeah, they got Spencer Rattler who played uh what school did he play for Oklahoma in college. He's not that experienced himself. Oh, I share a birthday with this guy. Well, Spencer Rattler was drafted, well, 2024. Yeah. So Spencer Rattler was just drafted in 2024, fifth round, 150th pick. You got the kid they just
Mm,
drafted, uh, Hunter Deckers. Never heard of him. See
mm.
what he went undrafted in this year's draft. And then Jake, I don't know who this guy is. He was drafted in 2023 by the Saints. Heener, I think that's how you pronounce his name. So they don't have much for quarterback backup.
Yeah.
So
So
we'll
they definitely
see.
could have used Shadur.
I mean, honestly, even if they would have drafted Shador, they will still be in this same spot with a bunch of quarterbacks with no experience or NFL experience, and
Yeah,
it was they still would be in a predicament. So I guess
understandable.
we'll see what the Saints do if they try to make a move for a veteran quarterback or if they're going to
Who's out
ride with.
there?
Honestly, I don't know. Because
Because didn't
side
Rogers
note,
just sign with
I
what's
was
the
I was
name?
I was
Yeah.
just about to say side note. Aaron Rodgers signed with Pittsburgh, which they've been waiting on for this whole time. In my opinion, that's why they got rid of all their quarterbacks.
which is
Like
wild.
so,
Wild. Why would you get? I get Rodgers was a great quarterback. He's not that same guy anymore. Like he's made it evident he's not that same guy. He has
yeah,
sparks of greatness, but you can't hang your whole season on that. Like,
yeah,
what are we
he's
doing?
he's 41. He'll turn 42 during this next football season. I'm interested to see how this plays out. He has DK Metcalf as a wide receiver. He has a deep threat. He has a receiver. But I am most interested to see the interaction between Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin because that shit that Aaron pulled in New York for the Jets and when he pulled in Green Bay, he's not pulling that shit in Pittsburgh. Low key, I want to see Mike Tomlin just smack the shit out of Aaron Rodgers. That's what I want to see. Mike Tomlin ain't going for that.
Yeah,
Boy, I don't give
yeah.
a fuck who you are,
I
what you
forgot they
did.
got DK Metcalf too, though.
Yeah, and then Pittsburgh had traded their best wide receiver from last year to Dallas. Oh my god, I keep. Oh shit, I'm blanking on his name. Is it still in my notes?
What was it? Oh, I think I know who you. He's that skinny
George
dude,
Pickens.
isn't he?
George Pickens.
Yeah.
They traded George Pickens to Dallas because I
I
think
think just it seemed like well, you got DK Metcalf, who's a awesome receiver. He is old, but he's still an awesome receiver. He's not that old, but
who DK Metcalf.
yeah, how old he like 30 maybe? Maybe he's
DK,
younger than that.
I don't think DK is that old. DK is 27.
Okay, that's what I was about to say. 27. So
Yeah,
he
DK
is a
he's 6'4", 229, and he is fast.
he is
He's fast.
fast. I ain't taking nothing away from him. He fast, but Aaron can throw. He's an easier target because he can pretty much get open anytime he wants. Like
Oh,
that's another team that could have got a decent quarterback, and then because they had Russ. I mean, I guess, and then
yeah.
they had who was the other guy, Love or something,
No, Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. I mean, yes, Justin Fields wasn't great, but he's trying to build. Like it feels like they're not trying to build a team. They're not even trying to build a team to make a Super Bowl run. It doesn't seem because you there's no way you're expecting to make a Super Bowl run with Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. Like you're expecting to hit maybe 5 or 6 games with Aaron Rodgers and maybe win those, but not make a Super Bowl run. Like that seems
Well,
weird.
I'm a hater. I don't like Aaron Rodgers at all, one bit. So
Understandable.
yeah.
Understandable.
So
Understandable.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. Not add any more
Okay.
to it.
Instead of
So
going in too deep. I get it. I get
yeah,
it. All
yeah.
right.
Mhm.
All right. So, oh yeah, push the wrong button. Um, speaking of weird announcements, um, James Gunn has been doing press for Superman because it's coming out soon, and on the press tours, he's giving Lamother slip bits of things here and there about the DC that he's building. One is people were asking about the runtime of the Superman movie. A lot of people came out and said they figured it out. It's 2 hours and 30 minutes. And then somebody on Twitter just blatantly asked James Gunn, "Is that correct?" Because James Gunn has made himself very accessible on Twitter or any social media. Or no, it's Threads. Threads. Was it Threads? I think it was Threads. Very accessible on Threads. So he's answering questions. He's done that since he became the DC overseer of all their projects and stuff. He started doing that on internet, Threads, X, all that stuff, answering questions to just random people, and somebody openly asked him, like, is that the runtime? He said no. He said it is like 2 hours and 1 minute or something like that. It's supposed to be the shortest Superman runtime ever in Superman movie history, I believe. If I'm wrong on that, I'm sorry. I think that's what it is. And then someone asked him, "Did Warner Brothers make you drop it down or make it a shorter time or do something like that?" And he says no. Um, DC Studios is a subsidiary to Warner Brothers, so like it's not under Warner Brothers umbrella or something. It is and it isn't. It's very weird. A lot of people forgot that Warner Brothers hired a guy to sell Warner Brothers. He's been trying to get Warner Brothers into shape to be sold for the last like 5 or 6 years. So that's why they've been offloading stuff, and that's why they took away Sesame Street. They're offloading shows that's been weighing Warner Brothers down so they can prepare for it to be sold to another company. Um, and DC is in that weird framework of being in Warner Brothers and not in Warner Brothers. So it's owned somewhat. It's weird. But James Gunn said, like, no one tells me what to do. It's a lie. Someone tells him what to do. He can get fired. He can 100% get fired. So I don't know why he's saying that. He can get fired. Um, so this honestly, if this Superman movie doesn't do good, he might get fired. Unfortunately, because they're banking all their stuff on this Superman movie. Um, if it doesn't do good, DC is gonna have to do a strong, hard reboot and just start all over. So that's one thing that was asked to him. Somebody else, while he was on the press tour, he let it slip out about that they're working on a Superman sequel already, or something of that nature of a Superman sequel to this movie that is coming out that hasn't come out yet. So that is in the works. He says, I believe he's working on it. Um, he let that slip, but then he also let slip that that they are working on a Wonder Woman script. Someone asked him about the dang it, I forget the word. What is the word when it's like not dynasty, but Trinity? The Trinity for DC, the Trinity has always been Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And someone asked him about that, and he was like, "What's going on with the Trinity? Are we still going to get the Trinity eventually?" And everybody knows we already have Batman, but in James Gunn's DC, there's going to be another Batman again. So we're going to have Matt Reeves' Batman, and we're going to have James Gunn's Batman. That's the same issue they had before when they had too many different characters, the same characters in different mediums. They seem to still be doing that. But we're also going to get a Wonder Woman now, too, because they put Wonder Woman on the shelves, understandably, because that last Wonder Woman movie was ass. I said it, it was ass. It was very bad. First Wonder Woman movie, touche, all good. One of the best things DC has made in a long time. Second one, garbage, hot garbage, 100%. Um, so we now know that they're working on a Wonder Woman, or at least in the frameworks of a Wonder Woman. We know that they're apparently working on a sequel to the Superman already. We kind of know the runtime of the Superman movie, and then he also let slip um, stuff about the Batman 2. He's he's letting Reeves do what he has to do. James Gunn said a long time when he first became like the overseer of the DC that he wasn't gonna have a project move forward unless they have a full script for it. And Reeves hasn't turned in a full script for the Batman 2, so he's postponing everything. He's like, we'll get it when the script is done. A lot of times movies start shooting without having a finished script or a full script. They'll have like the first 20 to 30 pages, and the script is usually, I think it's like 130, 150 pages for a movie script most of the time. So they'll start, and while the people are still writing the script, they'll be shooting other parts of the script. He said, we're not going to start shooting anything until we have the full script, which I can respect because a lot of movies turned out real bad because they didn't have a script. And a lot of movies turned out real good that didn't have a full script either. So it's a yin and yang and good and bad there. So you got to figure out what works for you. Um, but we are still supposed to be expecting the Batman 2 in 2027. That is so long away now. This thing has been postponed at least three times. At least three times since it's been announced that they were getting a sequel. There was something else too. Um, oh, I kind of touched on this, but also like we're going to get a new Batman as well on top of the Robert Pattinson Batman. So there will be a Batman. That's what it is. So when he said that he's working on the Superman script or Superman sequel script, a lot of people start memeing the world's finest. And they know that is the story where Batman does he fight? It's either the story where Batman fights Superman or Batman teams up with Superman. It's one of those. So it might be a team up movie with Batman and Superman, which everybody would love to see. We love that. Instead of the movie we got where Batman fights Superman, we're gonna have a movie where Batman teams up with Superman and they're fighting with help fighting with each other. So that's also going on. But just so you know, if you are a Prime member, you can get a early screening of the Superman. Yes, Prime members. I found this out the other day, and I figured I'd let you guys know just in case you might be wanting to go see that movie early. You could get a July 8th screening, early screening of Superman if you're a Prime member. So I'm gonna try to get in that because I'm a Prime member, so I can see the movie early and be able to talk about it on the podcast a couple days earlier than normal. That would be cool. But yeah, that is, I believe that is all the announcement James Gunn have given so far about the DC. Um, yeah, I think so. I I know he's on a press tour. I know he's trying to make Superman look good. Speaking of which, their tickets are supposed to be live right now too. The pre-sale tickets for Superman are live. So if you want tickets, go get them. They did put like a little snippet of Superman out, a little clip of him announcing the pre-sale tickets, and they show him saving somebody, catching like this heavy thing. So being Superman, pretty much. So that was cool, interesting. Some people say they are the color grading in the latest Superman trailers have been better. It feels like it's more vibrant, more blue than it was in the before they were out before. I don't know. I don't see a difference, but I wasn't looking for the color grading, so maybe it's just something I was paying attention to. Let me know you guys feel that way in the comments. Yeah, Marcus, you got any questions about that?
Uh,
Um,
Not really a question, just a statement. So you
okay,
said James Gunn was talking like a boss, and he ain't a boss.
he is a boss, but
But
he does have a
that
boss as well.
he's not
He's
the
not
boss.
the boss.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, he
yeah.
did go kind of hard on that. So yeah, that was kind of funny.
So
Like
we,
you can
so we,
get fired, my guy. Calm down.
so we say, yeah, all right, let this movie not do well. See if you talking that tough shit
Right
then.
on that chopping block. Right on that chopping block. Definitely. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Side note, I seen somebody post um a frame from the Flash movie and compare it to this new Superman movie, and it was very similar. And it was like, ugh. Like I would think you want to get as far away from that, but a lot of people forget James Gunn said he loved that Flash movie, and that was like one of the best superhero movies he's ever seen. And I don't know if he was just saying that because that was at the time where he became the overseer of DC, and this was the last DC project coming out before he really took over, and he was just trying to be a team player. But that was weird to say. And no, I seen that movie. It's not good. It is not good on any levels. There are good moments in it, like Michael Keaton back as Batman. Good moment. Good moment. I would sacrifice that moment not to see that movie They wipe it from existence to not have to watch that movie. 100%. Not for that movie not to exist. I would be happy with that. But yeah, that's my thoughts.
All right. So let's talk about DeMarcus Cousins. Oh, this is a crazy story. So DeMarcus Cousins nearly incited a brawl resembled to the Malice at the Palace. Are you familiar about that, Sammy? The Malice at the Palace?
yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so yeah, he nearly incited Malice at the Palace after being ejected from a Puerto Rican league game. He so it was like a fence in courtside. You can see him, the fan of DeMarcus Cousins, going back and forth.
Uh
DeMarcus
huh.
Cousins, grabbed his crotch, and then the fan gave him two middle fingers, and then DeMarcus Cousins like reach over to, touch him, and then the fan like moved his hand out of his face. Teammates got in between the two. Um, so then DeMarcus Cousins was ejected from that game. Um, so as he's walking off the court towards the locker room, you got to go through, the first little section of fans. He's
Hmm.
walking big, he's, doing like this, showing he's a big guy. And then as he's walking to the tunnel, looked like there was some exchange of words again with some fans. And then you see fans start throwing drinks. They're throwing drinks. So he got upset. He's like trying to go. It looked like he was trying to go at the fans. Security was holding him back. And then eventually, nothing bad happened. He got taken to the locker room. But it was just a wild scene, a wild video. Um,
Yeah.
the incident happened in the fourth quarter of the game. Um, yeah, just like verbal confrontation, some middle fingers. Uh, yeah, led back to the tunnel. Middle fingers was said he took a swipe at a fan and stuck up his middle finger towards the crowd as he was going back to the locker room. And then at that point, that's when multiple fans do drinks at him. And then
Yeah.
he tried to go after him. Just not overall, not a good look for DeMarcus Cousins. Um,
Yeah.
he was a good basketball player. I thought he had potential, but it's just like his attitude might have got him out of the league a little earlier. I know he had like a short little stint with the Nuggets. I think that was his last run in the NBA. So yeah, just unfortunate scene. I'm glad the Malice in the Palace didn't actually happen. That would have been
Yeah.
horrible, terrible. But yeah, just a bad situation.
So
DeMarcus
let me
Cousins,
ask you this, because we've talked about fans overstepping bounds and doing wild stuff. Do you
yeah,
feel this situation was uh more on the fan or more on the Marcus?
that's hard to call because when the video starts, you see DeMarcus Cousins and the fan like you don't know what they're saying, but you can see they're talking to each other. So
Uh huh.
I don't I don't know who started it, but at the same time, it's like I said, I don't because it's easy for me to say Mark's cousin should not have let it go that far and like try to
Hmm.
swipe at a fan and touch him. But at the same time, I don't
I
know
don't
what the
know what
fan
that man
said.
said.
Like
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
disrespectful was it? Because I'll bring this up again. Like that fan in Indiana that said, "I hope Ronnie, in a car crash." Like that's out of pocket. Like why would you say something like that? That's insane.
100%.
Or the fan
100%.
in Utah, Russ said called him the N word. Like again, that's insane. What is the point? So, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
we're all humans, whether we
We're
professional
all humans.
athletes
True.
or not. Disrespect is disrespect. So,
Very true.
so
Very
yeah,
true.
I just like I said, it was just a bad situation. I'm not putting the onus on anyone. I'm not putting on Cousins. I'm not putting on the fan. just going off the video, I would stay neutral to say both was in the wrong. So
Yeah,
maybe, yeah. So
yeah, yeah. They both had hot heads and couldn't step away from the situation. Would have
yeah,
definitely helped. His teammates should have definitely got over there faster to try to pull him away from the situation. But that's a big boy, so it'd
yeah.
be hard.
That's the big man. That's the big man. That's the big man. Yeah. So,
But okay, okay,
yeah. Can you imagine if Marcus Cousins would have went in the crowd? I think Marcus Cousins like 6'10",
yeah.
and uh, I don't want to be stereotypical, but Puerto Ricans are usually pretty small.
Yeah, true, true. They're not giants. They're not
Yeah,
giants.
yeah. Um, let me. DeMarcus Cousins is
It
six
would have
ten.
been a massacre.
He's 6'10" with a wingspan of 7'6", and he's two
Jesus,
seven, and he's 270.
Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. That would have been yeah, that would have been the same. Glad it did nothing. It did come to that though. Glad it did come to that.
That's good. That's good. Um, speaking of wingspans, um, Pixar is once again expanding another chapter in The Incredibles. Yes, Incredibles 3 is in the works. It is about to start filming, but we got some news that the man who brought us The Incredibles, Brad Bird, will not be directing this one. He's directed the first one and the second one, but he's
Mm,
not directing this one. He did write it. I think he's still a producer on it, but he's not filming it. The rumors are the conclusion is that he doesn't have time to because he's doing another movie called Ray Gun, and he might have another project going on after that as well. So he won't have time to direct this. But also, it seems like he doesn't want to just do incredible movies. He wants to spread his wings, to say, and do other things as well. Honestly, look, if you gonna pay me 10 million a year, I'll direct the same movie over and over again. I don't care, but that's me. I have a little bit of artistry. I just keep changing it slightly every time. But he wants to work on other things. You got to respect that. He did handpick the guy he will have direct this movie, and it's a guy that's already been working on these movies throughout this whole process. He's worked on the first one and the second one. His name is I just wrote it down. Let me see. I just had it. I think it's uh Ray Gun. Peter Sean. I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry, Peter, if I pronounce your last name wrong. But he has been working with Bird forever. So he knows Bird and him have a good working relationship. He knows what he wants from him. So he knows what's expected. So I think the movie is still in good hands. Funny thing is, this is basically Fantastic Four. The whole Incredible movie is in Fantastic Four in animated form. You only thing is different is they switched genders for a couple characters and gave a couple characters different powers, but it's ultimately a family of superheroes saving the day and the things they have to deal with doing that. And it's really good. I really like The Incredibles. It's an amazing two movies. The action scenes in the second movie, phenomenal. They're phenomenal. They did some stuff with Elastigirl, the way she uses her powers. So inventive, so smart, and I've never seen it done that way. It's mind blowing. It is so good. If you haven't watched The Incredibles, go watch the first two. They're on Disney Plus. Amazing movies. The first one, the CGI or the animation looks a little weird compared to the second one because they upgraded it. but it still works. It still works, still good. Still get a lot of play in this house. We watched that Spider-Man, and then what's the other show my daughter watched? She watched Doc McStuffin, and she watched a new show. I forgot the name of it, but like I said, it's a good show. So if you were hoping they would continue the Incredibles universe, they will be. Now we just have to figure out: are they going to do a time jump and raise those kids up, or are we going to just? I do believe they should do a time jump. The question is, how far in time do they go? Do they go 5 years? Do they go 10 years? Or do they go 20 years? Do you want Jack Jack to be a kid, a teenager, or adult? Um, those are really dynamic changes for that universe when they decide to do that with those characters. Me myself, I want to see Jack Jack as a kid, him having so many powers, him dealing with that as a kid, knowing that he is. I think Jack Jack is the only person in that world that has multiple superpowers. So he's one of a kind in that world, and I would love to see the impact that makes on not only him but the world itself. Um, how they react to him, how his family continuously reacts to him. Does he develop even more powers? How does is it something his body has trouble containing? So many questions within that. And then who's the new villain of this? Who are they going to be going after? Have we resettled all the superheroes back being able to be superheroes in the world? There's so many ways to go with this. Um, please don't have them get divorced. Don't do that though. Don't do that. God, no, don't do that. That is not what you should do. I give you they could be having hard times, but they did that in the first one when they had a slightly rocky relationship because he was doing his stuff, but they still loved each other. You can have them a little more straining, but please don't get them divorced. Don't do that, Disney. That's not compelling. That's just boring and depressing, and we don't want to be depressed. But Marcus, have you seen The Incredibles?
Of course, I was gonna say,
Okay.
and two, Jack Jack had was just doing his powers, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm with you. I want to see him with his powers as a kid, and you're right. He did have multiple powers. Like he
Yeah.
was all over the place. So yeah, I would definitely like to see him as a kid version, and then the other two as older to see how it
Yeah.
goes.
They'll be I would say if
Because
you
there was like
do Jack Jack at like 6 or 7, so I believe Violet was in high school. What's the boy's name? I just blanked on his name. Um
oh, I
it's
was
not
just
Flash. What is his
it did
name?
like
Oh, I'm blanking on his
Dash.
name.
Dash.
Dash was in like I want to say fourth grade. I think he's about 7 or 8. So yeah, I would say Violet could be in the process of graduating. That'll make Jack Jack like 4 to 5. Our Violet could have had her first year at college and came home, so that put Jack Jack at like 6. Dash should be going into high school or being like his second year of high school. I think that would be really interesting of a story. Them balancing schoolwork, being superheroes, Violet getting out the house, being on her own. I think that would be very interesting storytelling, um, especially for parents and children who have already been growing up with these characters. I think that would be good to have them move to that next step like that. But guys, let us know what do you think in the comments. Do you want them to grow up? How far do you want them to do a time jump? Let us know. You want to see Jack Jack as a teenager? I don't want to do that big of a time jump. I think that's too
Yeah.
big of a time jump. That seems like way too big of a time jump. And
Well,
does Jack Jack become the best superhero in the world because he has multiple powers, like multiple.
Because see, The Incredibles 2 came out in 2018.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think that's too much of a space of a time jump. If
that
you
is that
to
is 2018 is a long time ago. But
not quite
that second movie
10 years, but
came. That first
7.
movie that second movie happened right after. There was no time skip in that second movie. It kind of happened right after. It started picked
Well,
up right where the first one ended.
yeah. I mean, because the time between Incredibles and Incredibles 2 was 14 years. So
Okay. Oh yeah. So yeah.
Incredibles came out in '04, and then Incredibles 2 came out in 2018. So
Okay. Yeah.
so
They could
yeah,
definitely.
so even with that, yeah. I'm with you as a kid, like
Yeah.
around Dash and Violet's age in the first movie when they just discovering their powers. So
Yeah.
and,
That would
and
be cool.
then my guy Frozone, I need him in Incredibles 3.
The question is, do you have Frozo have a kid? That's the question.
Uh,
Like,
I mean,
because it wasn't. They never said it's not the realm of possibility of him and his wife having kids. They seemed like
yeah.
they were definitely kidless, but it didn't seem like they didn't have the option of having kids. I think that would be a great dynamic too to see
But
Frozone as a fuck.
but do you think if they give Frozone a kid in 3, and maybe this is just me because I like this movie. There's like you kind of like okay, if Frozone has a kid. There's like you got to do an Incredibles 4 to
Oh yeah,
see
I want
how.
more Incredibles.
No,
I'm
no,
not
no. I'm
saying
saying no. I'm saying, but that I feel like they did that. They pretty much signed themselves up and said, "Hey, I would, I would think fans definitely. I know for sure I would want Incredibles 4 because now I want to see how Frozone's kid and Jack will work together. Because maybe in the fourth one it'll be those two because
yeah,
Violet and Dash they moved on, so now you got Jack and
true.
Frozone kid, and then they
I will
collaborate.
be so so. Here it is.
All
I
right, we
would
need to
like
write this down.
Incredibles 3.
You can write this down. We just put the storyline out
Incredibles
there.
3. Frozo is either I would like them to be pregnant and by the end of the movie they give birth to his son. So in Incredibles 4, you have Jack and Frozo's kid growing up together. They'll be into their teenage years. Um, Jack will be 5 years young. So we would have Jack as a teenager and Frozo on the cusp of becoming a teenager. Um, I would like that. I mean, it also could be a spinoff. You could Frozo could spin off into his own movie, possibly. To
Look,
um,
we jumping so far ahead. The third movie ain't even came out yet. We just
very true.
decided the third one and coming up with a script for the fourth one. Put us on our payroll.
Very true. Very true. Very true.
We
But
doing
guys, so this
consultation.
is what happens. This is what happens. You have characters that people actually love and want to see grow, not just stay the same people per se, but grow as people, and we want to watch them grow and see them on their new adventures and the new things they do. That's when you know you've written your characters amazingly. People want to see them grow and get older, and keep going on adventures. That's a great thing right there. It's a great thing. Um, yeah, that is all I got for story number 3. Uh,
Uh,
Go ahead, Marcus.
okay, so I'm going to wrap this up with Curry's score of the game. It's 64-60. Indiana up at halftime. And then for my last, I'm just going to do a shout out to two people because I think these people need to be shout out for what they've done. So first off, I'm gonna say shout out to Snoop Dogg. Uh, Snoop Dogg at his Snoop U Football League. Uh, it started back in 2005. It was started to provide inner city youth in the Los Angeles area with positive opportunities through football and cheerleading. Snoop Dogg's Youth Football League has produced over 40 players who have gone on to play in the NFL since 2005. The league has had over 60,000 participants and has helped many players reach D1 colleges and several players in the NFL. Just to name a few players, CJ Stroud with the Houston Texans, Juju Smith Schuster with the New England Patriots, and Romeo Dobbs with the Green Bay Packers, just to name a few people. So shout out to Snoop and what he's done over the years with his youth football league. So, and then I want to give a shout out to Coco Gauff. She's won her first French Open win this past weekend. Her victory marks the first time in a decade that an American have won a French Open. I know it was a little controversial on her win, but I don't want to take away from her and what she did. I want to shout her up and rise up because she's only 21 years old, so that's
Oh
pretty
dang!
dope.
I didn't know she was that young.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, she showed mental toughness during that match. That a lot of people, her being that young to have that mental toughness. No, shout out to her. 21, mental toughness, big stage, French Open. Like I said, American hasn't won a French Open in over a decade. Uh,
Mm.
she went on to win the following sets 6-2 and 6-4. And she got a new trophy. And then, after you win a tournament like that, these athletes, they go on a press tour. They hit all the late
Yeah.
night talk shows or whatnot. So she was in New York and she went to a New York Liberty game. Um, the New York Liberty had their fans celebrate golf by giving her a standing ovation as she sat courtside and even had a custom jersey ready to go after the game. The
Okay.
and then she was quoted as saying, "The whole arena was cheering for me, which I wasn't expecting, just because it's not my sport. I'm at a basketball game. It just made me realize how many people see me. This is just crazy." So shout out to Coco, man. Shout out to her.
Shout out.
And yeah, shout out to Coco. Shout out to Snoop.
Shout out to Coco.
Yeah.
Shout
No,
out
no love,
to Yeah.
no love for Snoop.
Ah,
No love for Snoop.
that, I mean, what Snoop is doing is great, but that whole situation with the performance was weird, man. It was
Oh, you talking
weird
about
and
earlier this year?
unnecessary. Yeah,
I,
it was
I,
weird. It
I.
contradicts everything you've been saying. Snoop was going hard on him at first, and then you go do a
No.
performance, and that's really weird. Really
Now,
weird.
now, I, th- obviously, I don't know. I think I know why he did it. Not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong, but I think I know why he did it. So that guy out in Washington pardoned somebody that Snoop is close to. I think that the person got pardoned, if I remember correctly, like worked at Death Row or something, and Snoop knows him very well. So that's why I believe Snoop did that performance. But I'm not going to lie, I was upset with him as well. But that's why I think he did it.
Well, with that
And
new information, I still feel the same. Still
but
feel the
and even before that, I would say like Snoop is an interesting story because Snoop came out gangster rap in the '90s.
Yeah,
Uh, he was put on trial for a murder case, which he beat.
yeah,
Uh, and that was '90s, early '90s, '91, '92. And the way
yeah.
it's 2025, Snoop is still relevant. The way
Super
he's been,
relevant.
the way he's
Super
been
relevant.
been able to reinvent himself and all the
Over and
things
over again.
he's done over the decades as far as music, television, like the coolest, oddest things. how him and Martha Stewart like connect, and they was hanging out, and they had a thing going
Yeah,
because they both had been in jail, which I thought was wild that they sent Martha Stewart to jail for insider trader, and there's plenty of people now who should be in jail for insider trading, but that's a story for a
true.
different day. But yeah, like to selling things on national television, like Snoop is like Shaq. Like they always
Yeah,
selling the products, and the way
yeah.
he's continued to reinvent himself and stay relevant all these decades, I find that in itself amazing. So
That is amazing. I give him to him. That he has standed the test of time.
yeah,
He's become a household name, not in
he's an
just
icon
his form of rap. He's become a household name in houses you would think his name would be spoken in, which
for
is
sure.
wild.
Yes, yes.
So Tusha, yeah, like you said,
He,
icon. He's
I
an
mean, like
icon.
rap hanging out with pimps, Don Bishop, Magic Wand from Chicago. I'm just saying, Snoop has
True.
done a lot.
I
He's
will
lived a
give him
life.
that. He
Snoop
has
has lived
lived
a.
an incredible life and done some
Hey,
amazing things and some not so amazing things.
Snoop
Uh,
has lived the life of a GTA character. Except he's doing it in real life. Shout out to Snoop, man,
100%. Well,
and
guys, that
Coco.
is the podcast. And Coco, that is the podcast for this week. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down at the bottom. It's free and it helps us. So that should help you to help us by hitting the buttons. Appreciate it. If you haven't hit that like button, show YouTube day you like listening or watching the podcast. Also, check out all our social medias down there below. This link tree, go hit that. If you would like to leave a voicemail for the podcast, that is linked down below too. You can ask us a sports or superhero question or a life question, whatever you would like. Long as it's not no weird stuff, we'll probably answer it. Let us know that we're wrong about a take. We would love to debate you. Not really debate. I'm just gonna say what I gotta say and move on.
You
But we would love to hear
speak for
from you.
yourself. Speak for yourself.
Marcus will debate you, but we would love to hear from you. Marcus ain't gonna say nothing, but we would love to hear from you in those voicemails. And if you have a regular question you want to write out, we have an email for that too down at the bottom. But guys, appreciate you check. Oh, I forget. Um, check out listen to the audio version on Spotify. Rank us up there. Hit us with 4 stars. We'll take a 4. You can hit 5 if you want. We okay with that. But 4, we greatly appreciate that as well because it moves us up in the algorithm and gets us new listeners. So go ahead and do that for us. Appreciate it. But as always, I appreciate you guys hanging out, listening to us, watching us, and doing all the things. Shout out to TikTok. We've been doing videos, been doing real good on TikTok. So
John,
keep
talk
listening to that. Keep doing that. It's
a
been
lot of
doing a good
comments.
shorts have been doing good too. So appreciate you guys listening. If you would like to listen to the full version, come over here. Side note, let us know if you want to do like chop these up. I've seen people start doing like 30-minute podcasts. So instead of giving you the whole podcast, we'll give you 30 minutes. So we'll do one like every other day. So you have multiple stuff. Let us know if you want to do that. We'll see. We might look into that. I did a little bit of that in the beginning, but I was like, we got to get traction. But now I feel I'm talking too much. That's behind the scenes. Let us know though. Appreciate you checking it out. And until next time, we'll see you next time, guys. All right. Bye.
Peace.